Anyway, I'll show you what I've been doing. Temperature's just touching 30. Anyway, I'll show you what I've been doing. Feel like I've had a good workout. But again, otherwise you drop dead. I'll show you what I've been doing. Look, gonna have a wall of sound. Check this out. We've got one more speaker to slot in. I've got a quad antler there. Right. And we've got one of that in. But at the minute I just feel shattered. And what that's going to do there is free up a bit more room. I might even shift this over there. All these records, got all the two-tone and that round there. That'd be a good place along there. So I'm getting to know the house a bit now, where the hot spots are and whatnot. I keep thinking how lucky I am. I've got my records and that out, and all my mum's records. Because I'll tell you what, if they'd have thrown all that away, I'd probably be in jail about now. You know that. In fact, now it's turned criminal for a Clarion, I'm going to actually contact, I haven't been in trouble for years, but my criminal solicitor, who's known me since I was 17. Find out what the crack is. Anyway, let's get this wall of sound going. What we got here, look, we got on the bottom, we've got two Pioneers, and then we've got two Techniques, and then we've got a Bose speaker, and over here we've got a horn speaker. That's what that is. But to fetch that over, I'll have to just put the phone down a minute. It's quite busy down the town. Big market on and that, but I don't know, maybe I should open a little stall, knocking out my two-tone tunes. That's what it needs down there, a little record stall. Apparently years ago, Gillingham Market used to be the dog's bollocks, but it's all just foreign tackle and that now, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I can remember when Tunbridge Market was about... Yeah, the geezer that I met yesterday, he's from Maidstone. He's been here a couple of years. There's another fellow whose dad's from South London. He's the same as me. Quite rough and ready, so he quite likes it round here. Which country am I in? I'm in England, my friend. Where it's really sunny and warm, and what we're going to do, we're going to put that other speaker on, move the decks over, and turn it up really loud, I think. I'm just going to have to put the phone down while carrying the last speaker. So we've got two Pioneers, two Techniques, and a Bose one. India, Hello, there are lots of Indians out there, over here actually. How are you, my friend? Never been to India, but I wouldn't mind. Uh, Hello, anyway. In fact, I wouldn't mind going to India to watch the cricket or something like that. England versus India. That'd be good. Right, I'm just going to move this speaker. Oh, I think I'm just going to drop a button. In fact, I know a little bit about India, I suppose. Well, the colonisation, all the hideous British stuff, which I don't consider myself. I don't consider myself British. I'm English, Irish and Spanish. Really, I'm English, that's what I say. In fact, I had some girl, right, who was in Africa on the phone telling me that I was British. And I was going, how can you tell me who I am? Oh, is it coming up soon? Well, I don't mind a bit of cricket. Cricket, football, all sorts of sports, or soccer if you're American. I suppose you're better at cricket than football, but yeah, I can remember some great Indian players. In fact, there's lots of Indians, girls and males and that all around here. In fact, I've never lived in such a multicultural area. It's quite crazy, and everyone's quite friendly, everyone's just getting along. It's mad. Except the Africans and that, I can't really understand what they're saying, but they're not talking English. And again, I don't think some of my friends even talk English. Queen's English, actually. We can talk really posh. Who wants to be posh? Nobody. In fact, we're at the bottom of the heap. We're working class. Right, this speaker, I might just have to sneak that one in and put it there. Yeah, I thought I'd just put all the speakers in like a wall, so we just got a wall of sound. A wall of bass. Still got my tent out there. Show you my tent. That's when it gets too hot in the house. Just get me tent. And again, I think this could be possibly the hottest summer I've ever experienced. I can remember 1976 when it was really warm, but luckily I don't burn, I just go brown. Thanks to I've got a little bit of Spanish blood. So I'm not as completely white as my dad. He was completely white. He just used to burn, but I just go brown. Different genetics. My dad, he's completely English. But my dad, I suppose, he would have been more British than me. I don't really identify as being British. I'm English. Really, Britain is just a collective name for the British Isles. I'm all for independence, really, but obviously Scotland are allowed to say that, but we're not allowed to say that if we're English. I'm all for independence, man. Crazy, eh? You got all them people wanting to be British, and then you got me wanting to pull away being English. But what have I got in common with a Welshman or a Scotsman? Nothing. Not that I've got anything against them, but it's all good. But I suppose at the end of the day, we're all just children of Mother Earth, really. Got quite a short time on this planet, really, thinking about it. So you've got to enjoy yourself, I say. In fact, I got stopped down the town by I think an American. He was talking about Jesus. I said, look, you're really wasting your time with me, talking about Jesus. But I'd rather tell them straight, then they can move on to the next one. You look at religion, it's killed more people than the plague. And I did religious education at school, but also did science and physics. Crazy. But yeah. I suppose there is a God, if you want to, like the Big Bang and evolution, if you want to call that God, but I don't think there's no higher being out there. Or if there is, he's quite a sad man, isn't he, really, or female. You know, he might be a female, who knows. But crazy, eh? Just think if there was no religion, all the people would still be alive. Crazy. To be honest, I don't really care what religion people are, as long as they're not hurting anybody. You know what I mean? You can believe in little green men from Mars, as long as you're not hurting anybody. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, I say, but there's quite a few of the Africans over here are very religious, but I think they're all Christians, which is the same as me. I'm a Church of England, so really I'm a Christian. Not that I'm into any of that, man. We're all human beings. I think religion, same as marriage, was just set up to control people when people were less educated. But obviously now, people get educated. Yeah, crazy. But some people are just brainwashed at birth, I suppose. I suppose if your mum and dad kept going bang, bang, bang since you come out of the womb, you're probably going to believe it, aren't you? But I think, well, yeah, my primary school was quite religious. But then as I got older, I think religion sucks, man, if it means killing people. Then again, I don't care if there's a lot of Muslims around. In fact, there's a mosque down there that's got peace and everyone's welcome. It's quite a mellow town. There's Indians. Everybody's here, man. We've got the English sort of Indians as well. In fact, I quite like the way they look after their culture, like their family and culture. I can dig all that. But, yeah. Crazy, eh? Then well, I don't know who they are, man. You've got all the people, the illegal ones that are here, but who knows? There's probably a terrorist or two walking around amongst them all, but that's what happens when you join in all these stupid little wars and shit. We should just keep out of all that stuff, man. We like to jump in with America. Well, I don't know. I think we fell out with America now. But who cares? Fell out with Russia. He keeps saying he's going to nuclear bomb us. Putin. That's about all he would do. But the reason he hasn't nuked us because he knows we've got nuclear submarines ourselves. But yeah, I think Putin's a bit crazy really with the Ukrainians and all of that. It's not good when you're killing kids and that, man. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Blowing up kids and just crazy. I think the craziest ones are the ones who are the suicide bombers that think they're going to be martyred and... Do you know what I mean? You've got to be really brainwashed to be believing all that shit. To just blow yourself up. What a waste of space. But we've had some crazy terrorist incidents over here, but... I don't know. I think the world should try a bit of peace, people. What do you reckon? Do you think people could get along? That's like, I remember when Trump tried to sort Israel and Palestine. But then again, really, I think the Israelis, they bang on the Jews, they bang on about the Second World War and the Holocaust and all that, which is fair enough. Yet they're out there doing the same thing now. They're hypocrites, man. That's what I think. And I think the Jewish society doesn't really mingle or intermingle. If I've offended any Jews out there, I apologise, but that's my observation in England. Yeah, they wear their little hats and that and keep themselves to themselves. Well, everybody else, the Rastas and everyone's just mingling around, but yeah. In fact, I'm quite glad I came here because it's even more mixed up than London here. But saying that, they're all friendly. Turkish, Chinese. That's what the world should do, really. All just get along. Because at the end of the day, you all come out of your mother's womb. It's as simple as that. Anyway, let's carry on. Let's get a bit deep there. Let's crack on with this. Probably have all the Jewish mob banging at the door. Personally, I'm Church of England, which is a Christian organisation. And to be honest, I quite like churches of all denominations. I quite like the history that you get in the church. In fact, I posted some pictures on my YouTube of a Victorian church that I put my drone over. It's quite Victorian round here. Quite a few Victorian buildings. You can tell by the brickwork. If you look at the brickwork on the windows and the doors, it'll be arched. And then you get Edwardian houses, which are more square. Bit of history for you. Right. This weather is just, I think it's about 30 now out there. And I must have drunk about 15 cans of energy drink. I'll tell you what we got to do now. God, we got to wire this up, man. All in there. This Pioneer. Check that out. I thought I'd moved it about though. So we're going to have all the speakers and that and all the wires all tucked away. What I'll do is push my decks more over there. And all my records, I've got loads around there. That's quite a cool area over there. Yeah. Still got these Madness records that I bought. Put a few records away, I think. In fact, I might put my trainers on. And then when I'm in the garden, I want to stab my feet. God, you come up here, it's like an oven. This is a Victorian house. And the stairs are really steep. The Victorian people are really small, and I'm 6'2". It just feels like I'm going to topple over. So I keep calling him Prince Charles. I prefer the Queen on them, to be honest with you. I'm not really a fan of Charlie. I prefer the Queen. Saying that, Charles does do a lot of good work, but I think once he's gone and William takes over, I think it'll be a different face to them then. Yeah. King Charles, the cheetah. He should have just stayed with Diana, really. I would have. What happened to that poor woman? Crazy, eh? She was a good woman, actually, Princess Diana. Not really into the royal family, but a few of them are alright. Princess Anne, she ain't too bad. She's got an Olympic medal. She does a lot of good work. Yeah. Quite weird. In fact, I'm going to end up seeing 3 different monarchies, because obviously I've seen the Queen and then Charles. Now I'll get to see William as well. And then who's after William? It won't be his daughter, because I think the males succeed the females, which is a bit wrong, isn't it? It's all a load of bollocks anyway. Maybe I don't really mind the royal family. I suppose they bring quite a bit of money to the country. Plus, you look at the Queen's dad. He went to war and all sorts, man. He was in the army. I don't mind a king that gets stuck in. If he's sending all these people out to war, he should be there as well. And who else you got? Prince Andrew. He should just be locked up, man, Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew, who likes young girls. Yeah, I think we can safely say that now. They should just lock him up, man. Lock him up and throw away the key. Right. proper drones charged up. The new drone's working really well. In fact, I think this is my favourite drone, man. This new one. Yeah. It's a good job they sent a new one, really. This one. I've been testing out the sensors and that on it this morning. Just by trying to fly into things, but it just stopped dead. People keep stopping me, asking me lots of questions about drones. I should really get a job in the Ukraine. They've got some very good drones as well. Ukrainians, very good at making them. In fact, what they were doing with the drones, they were flying a drone right into the Russian tanks and whoosh. But what the Russians are doing now, because they were jamming the signals, the Russians now are using drones with really small fibre optic cable on the drones. But I've seen the Americans, right? They've got, because I'm right into me drones and that, they've got this weapon, because drone attacks come in swarms. They launched 500 drones, right, and it was all going forward, and this Yankee, right, pressed this button, this American, and they all just dropped out of the sky. I don't know what that was, but you're not going to be lucky all the time, are you? Do you know what I mean? But crazy. Drone warfare. I suppose it saves people's lives, in a way. Yeah, the old Ukrainians have the goggles as well. So they're just looking around. I want one of them drones, man. Well, I'm quite lucky, really, in this country that we've got quite a lot of freedom, man. But again, it's a free country. That's what Britain always stood for, and it is a free country. Except when I was growing up, you could say what you wanted. People were either offended or they weren't, or didn't listen. But now everybody's offended by everything. But I just say it anyway. Yeah, crazy, eh? The whole world's offended. Or people in this country are. I really don't care. At the end of the day, you're here for a good time, not a long time. Right. What's this, cricket? On the little radio on?
Well, for this stage, but as the ball gets older and spinners lays apart, that's where it becomes a little bit trickier here. But this is the over here. You should be walking across and trying to target that leg side field.
Brancato, very full delivery, really well bowled in the block hole. Yorker length, right toe, bended into the offside.
This is a good little radio, this, good for football and boxing.
Went really full under the swing, and it's interesting to see if Sunrise has learned from that, and they're still able to do.
So I take camping.
While lofty position, we can see it's downtown Leeds, which is under very correct.
I'll be glad when the football starts again, man. Get your money on Liverpool, everybody, for the Premiership. Right, let's wire some of these wires up. What we're going to have here is 1, 2, 3. What I'm going to have to do is, try not to drop your phone. So, and all we're doing here is just joining these wires together. It's going to make much more room in here. It's going to be easier to clean as well. Floor. You need really little fingers though, it's a really fiddly job. All we're doing is joining two reds together, and then the two whites, and then what we'll do with this one is add the white like that. I've got to get a new pair of glasses, man. I might have to go to the opticians, squinting at everything. It's probably because I've been on that drone looking at the sun. Right, all we've got to do now is join them reds together, look. Like that. I'm going to put that there in a minute. Let's see if we can get these in first go. One of these. So we've just got that one. And that one's in as well. I think I've been doing this too many years. Right. Should have loads more. There's one. There should be another three. 1, 2. Yeah. Ah. No. We are missing. What we got there? 6. Ah, there it is. And all I'm basically doing is the same again. Right, the red ones. This is going to sound really basic in one space. And then the white ones. Same again here. And then we're ready to go. Time to get the record spinning. Right, that one there. Let's see if we can get these in the right one. A bit more room. It's going to need to go like that. That's it. This is going too good today. And then that one. And that's him as well. Definitely been doing it too long. Oh. Anyway, I'll be back once I've done that.